Stardew Valley is a game near and dear to my heart. I played it countless times, and like so many others with hundreds of hours in the game, I know how to min-max this game to hell and back. My first ever community center was finished in just over 2 years, but now it only takes me a year. But there are so many guides to do that. So am I actually good at this game? What if the community center was randomized? Could I still finish it in a year? Could I still have a successful first year at the same time? Who knows? Let's find out. Day 1 of spring begins and I get to chopping trees for a chest and planting and watering my first batch of parsnips. With my starting 500 cash, I can grab a bunch of extra parsnips to plant alongside the free ones I got. The rest of the day is pretty uneventful as most of the game is not unlocked yet, so I like to spend it grabbing the spring onions from the forest and using the scythe on as much of the fibre on my farm as I can in hopes of getting a few mixed seeds. On day 2, Willie moves into the valley and I can grab my first fishing rod from him. He also put up a request on the town board for 3 sunfish, which is a nice extra bit of cash. I spent a day and also the 3rd and 4th just fishing. There isn't much else I can do. The mines are closed, and just like a normal playthrough, I cannot see what's in the community center until day 6. Fishing is the best money maker we have now too. Plus I would hate to ignore fishing and then find out that the legend is in the community center somehow, and I need to get to level 10 fishing by the end of spring. Day 5 rolls around and my parsnips are finally ready to harvest. I keep 1 regular and all of my gold quality saved in my chest, just in case they are in the community center. Today is also a good luck day, so instead of getting the community center cutscene to begin unlocking it, I instead take a trip to the mines. I don't need to replace my crops right away since I'm planning to get potatoes, which should be ready in time for the egg festival anyway. As long as it doesn't rain tomorrow, I should be able to get the cutscene then and unlock the center a day late. My mining trip goes very well. I find a gem rock on floor 1 giving me an early aquamarine. I also managed to kill a special slime on floor 8 for a quick weapon upgrade, and then find another gem rock on floor 24 for an early diamond. By the end of the day, I've made it all the way down to floor 35. The next day I wake up and it's raining, so still no community center cutscene. I do still need to plant my potatoes though, and they will be immediately watered by the rain. I spend some of the day trying to catch some catfish, but I'm not good enough in the minigame it seems, so I instead grab the spring onions from the forest once again. I want to get to level 4 foraging before the 15th anyway for the extra salmonberry from each salmonberry harvest. Luckily the next day is not a raining day, so I can finally get that cutscene ready to unlock the community center on the 8th. 2 days late. Before that though, I do a little extra fishing to get to level 5 for the extra money from selling fish. Been hoarding a bunch of fish waiting to sell them for extra cash, and the rest of the day is spent just clearing out trees from the farm. The next day I make my way to the wizard and peruse through the first room of bundles. I need to complete at least 1 to unlock the next room, and annoyingly, I have a bundle for each of the season's forageables except for springs. The first set of bundles are the resource bundle, winter foraging bundle, summer foraging bundle, the random bundle, full foraging bundle, and the D bundle. The only bundle that is feasible for me right now is the D bundle. I only need 3 items, and so I run to the center and give in a dandelion, daffodil, and driftwood. And then the reward for the bundle comes in and it's 999 hardwood. I assume the rewards are randomized. Maybe it's a random item with a random quantity from 1 to 999, and I just got extremely lucky, but this seems a little too overpowered, so I like to trash them all. If the next reward is overpowered, I'm just going to trash all of the future rewards too. Now that my first bundle is complete, I have access to the next 2 rooms. I pray that they have at least a couple easily completable bundles, so I can unlock the boiler room and bulletin board. In the pantry we have the spring crops bundle, the egg bundle, the R bundle, the cook bundle, the L bundle, and the brown bundle. In the fish tank we have the purple bundle, the blue bundle, the winter fish bundle, fishing tools bundle, ocean floor fish bundle, and the rainfish bundle. The definite easiest bundle is the brown bundle. I already have wood, clay, and the acorn, and for the other 2 items I can easily craft a gate from 10 wood. To get the extra cash I need to buy the wheat flour from Pierre, I stop off at Robin's since she made a request for 20 wood yesterday, and I can collect my reward from that. I donate the items to the bundle, and this time my reward is 39 eggs. Yeah, I think these rewards are kinda busted, so I've decided I'm not going to be using them at all. The boiler room gives me access to 3 new bundles, the artifact bundle, the gemstone bundle, and the ring bundle. Now I'm out of obviously easy bundles, and this could be a problem. I really want to unlock all the rooms by the end of spring, just in case one of the bulletin board bundles needs a bunch of spring crops. I don't want to make it impossible to complete this in year 1, just because one of the bundles needs a cauliflower. Whilst deciding on what to do, I work on unlocking the Adventurers Guild and killing some insects to hopefully get the insect head from Gil. The next morning I plant some of the rice shoots I have laying around, and open all the geodes I've collected ready to donate to the museum, getting a couple of minerals I need from the community center in the process, giving me a couple more options for my next bundle to focus on. I then go to Pierre's and use use the fish money I got from my level 5 fishing to buy the rest of the seeds I need for the spring crops. On spring 10 it rains, and the luck is the best it can be, so I decide that maybe my best option is to use that luck to finish the gemstone bundle. I get down to level 40, where I will be able to find aquamarines and frozen tears, both of which I need. Before going any further, I like to finish the insect monster slayer goal for a stronger sword, grabbing the final topaz I need along the way. I then explore the upper layers of the frozen mines, grabbing some of the frozen tears I need, and grabbing the final aquamarine I need. I managed to also grab 3 hardwood from a crate, which seems great as it is the exact number I need for the resource bundle, but I need 38 clay for that and I only have 3. The 11th has the worst possible luck, so mining is out of the question for today. So I take my pickaxe to be upgraded to make it easier to get through the mines, as emerald and ruby gem nodes only appear past floor 80. I also take some of the geodes I got from the mines yesterday to Clint to open, and one of them has another one of the minerals I need for the community center. That opens up the possibility of completing the blue bundle instead. I fish in the little farm pond to grab the broken glasses I need for the bundle, and now I only need 2 more things. One pick is obvious, the Jojo Cola can be bought for cheap at the Jojo Mart. For the 4th item, I decide to go with the spinner, as it will be sold by Willy at level 6 fishing. Currently, I'm still at level 5, so the rest of the day is spent fishing. Whilst fishing, I get a treasure chest with one of the artifacts I need, plus a bonus ancient seed. The 12th is an exciting day as my potatoes are finally ready to harvest. I grab them all and save one for the center and go straight back to fishing. In another treasure chest is a rusty spur, which I will need later for the community center, although I do not know that by this point. By the day's end, I'm level 6 in fishing, but before I can finish the bundle, we must first do the egg festival. Despite my 12,000 gold, I only buy 50 strawberries to save me the pain of watering them all every morning. On the 14th, I drop off a bunch of the items I have laying around for the community center, including 3 of the 4 blue bundle items I need. I stop off at Pierre's to upgrade my backpack, and then stop off at Clint's to grab my copper pickaxe, which is ready. Then it's to Willy's for the spinner, and by donating it, I can finally see what's in the final bundles. The bulletin board has the Haley bundle, the Santi bundle, another R bundle, another random bundle, and the Maru bundle. Seeing the Maru bundle for the first time made me very happy that I unlocked it before spring's end, otherwise I would have no leeway with which items I want to donate if I were to complete the center by the end of year 1. For the rest of the day, I work on killing dust sprites at the mines, partially because the wizard requested it, and partially because I would like to finish the monster slayer goal. The burglar's ring you get as a reward is a very powerful accessory. The next morning my tulip is ready, along with the rice I planted, both of which are needed for the spring crops bundle. The 15th also marks the start of salmonberry season, and I will be running around gathering as many as possible until the 19th. The wizard again requests for more dust sprites to be killed, so I work on that for a second time, taking the opportunity to get down to level 55 in the mines. When I wake up on spring 16th, my blue jazz is ready and I donate it along with a bunch of other miscellaneous items. Then I finally grab my ancient seed from Gunter. The seed packet is an item that is requested in the community center, so I will be keeping it as a backup. Not entirely sure why I decided to do that, because it's not exactly like I'm going to get many harvests out of this when it takes a whole season to grow. After grabbing a bunch of salmon berries, I check Gus's saloon for some of the recipes I need. I need to start making a dent in those because if I leave it too long, they might not appear in his shop, and I will have to start thinking about upgrading my house and getting a bunch of ingredients. Today he has fried mushroom, which is one I need, so I buy it and donate it. On the 17th, Marnie brings me a cat and I name him Custard. I then spent the rest of the day grabbing salmon berries, mining for iron and killing dust sprites. In the meantime, I managed to get a couple of jades, which I will need for the gemstone bundle. Spring 18th rolls around and my cauliflowers are ready. 2 were for bundles and I keep one just in case I need to make a cheese cauliflower for the Maru bundle. I take both of them and a refined quartz to the community center with me. On the 19th, my final spring crop is ready, the green bean, which means the spring crop bundle is down. This unlocks the final room, the vault. All the values are different from the base game, but together they only cost just under 1,000 more gold than usual. It's not worth buying them on their own anyway, since I'm trashing the rewards for individual bundles, so I'll purchase them later. I spend the rest of the day in the mines grabbing the resources for a couple of the craftable rings from the ring bundle. I then buy a couple more rings from the Adventurers Guild, although one is for the purple bundle. Did I kind of just waste 3,500 on a couple of rings that I don't even need yet? Yeah, but it's a nice excuse to upgrade some of my gear early. I don't have to donate them immediately anyway. On the 20th, I bring Lewis a leak he requested, letting me a prize ticket which gives me a peach sapling. I don't really need any fruit saplings though, so I just sell it. I also remember that I still need to do the quest How to Win Friends, so I take the opportunity to piss off Pierre. In the afternoon, I start work on an oak tree farm, specifically so I can get cakes later on. I probably won't need cake money for the center itself, however I have a secondary goal in mind. You might recall me saying in the intro that I wanted to have a successful first year, but that's pretty vague, so I'm going to say that successful essentially means profitable, and I'm going to try and get to 1,000,000 gold earned total by the end of the year. Otherwise the most optimal way of completing all the bundles as fast as possible would just be to sleep for half the game, and that'd be boring. On the 21st, my strawberries are finally ready. I need one for the Mara bundle and the rest are sold. I also have a few more cauliflowers, one of which will be going to Jody for a little extra gold. I take the strawberry, along with a couple of rings I know I won't use, and an emerald I got from a gem rock in the mines a couple days ago to the community center. On the 22nd, Demetrius shows up and asks if I want mushrooms or bats in my cave. Neither fruit nor mushrooms are going to be particularly helpful in any way, so I just go with my personal favorite in the bats. The rest of the day spent fishing, during which I find another artifact in a treasure chest that I need for the center. The next day I finally get another good luck day, so it's back to mine scrolling. Trip nets me the rest of the jades I need for the gemstone bundle, and then I make it down to floor 80 by the end of the day. On the 24th, I drop off a couple items, including the jades from the mines, completing the gemstone bundle. The day after that, I get another mineral I need from a geode and donate it. I then finish Willie's request for a full carp and do a little ore farming. My final strawberry harvest is ready the next day, and then I spend the rest of the day fishing, trying to grab as much gold as possible before I need to spend it all on summer crops. On the 27th, I find a spice berry in my fruit cave, which I will need for the community center. However, it's basically only 2 days before I could find it naturally anyway. I spend the rest of the day farm clearing ready for summer, and spend the 28th doing exactly the same. Once summer is here, it's time to dramatically increase the number of crops planted on the farm. I start tilling the ground in a sprinkler pattern, as I should be able to cover all the crops with sprinklers over the next few days. Plant the seeds I got from the museum, plus the ancient seed I got earlier, and fill in the rest with 389 blueberries. By the time they are all planted, it is very late at night, so watering will have to wait until tomorrow. Overnight, a crop fairy grows a portion of my blueberries, which is nice for some extra early summer gold. The next day is mostly spent watering, plus I give a gift to Evelyn. There are quite a few cooked dishes in the community center, and if Gus doesn't sell any of them for the whole year somehow, I'm screwed. So I need to find a way to guarantee that I can make all of them. Evelyn gives you the recipe for cookies at 4 hearts, and they're pretty easy to make. I will also try to befriend Shane for the pepper poppers recipe, and Pam for the cheese cauliflower recipe. The only worry I have with these cooked dishes in bundles is that the Haley bundle needs a pink cake, and the recipe is only attainable in year 2, so I need Gus to sell it, or I have no other way of obtaining it. I would be able to get it if I made my character male, because you get one in the mail at 120,000 gold earned. Instead, I'm gonna get sewn. By the 4th, I'm out of all the sprinkler materials I already had in my chest, so it's time to ore farm. It takes me 2 days to get everything I need for the rest of them, and then overnight a crop fairy comes and grows a second set of my blueberries. In the morning I harvest all my extra blueberries, and then in the afternoon I stop off at Pierre's to buy 2 radish seeds. I donate both of them to various bundles along with the summer forageables I acquired over the last few days, completing one of the R bundles and the summer foraging bundle. I use the rain on the 7th to go fish up a sturgeon ready for the luau in a few days. It's gold quality, so it should give me the best result and help making friends with other villagers. Whilst I'm there, I get Robin to build me a coop since I need eggs for the center. The next day I also go fishing, first in the ocean for tilapia, and then I take advantage of a rainbow trout frenzy happening, and I get one of those too. On the 9th I grab a 3rd radish seed, this one to plant for a bundle, plus a hot pepper seed to plant for the pepper poppers. I also grab some rice from Pierre, completing the 2nd R bundle. In the afternoon I take to killing void spirits, as the ring you get from completing their monster eradication goal is in the ring bundle. When I get back to my farm in the evening, the final refined quartz I need has done smelting, and I can finish making my last sprinkler. My coop is ready by the 10th, and I run off to Marnie's to buy a couple of chickens. One is called Peanut, and one is called Jelly. They're both white chickens, and somehow I didn't even notice. I will not notice for a few days either. After the chickens, I go to Clint's to upgrade my axe, and open some mystery boxes, and I get 2 rings. 2 rings I need, both of which I already donated. Thanks, Clint. At least I managed to get the dwarfish helm from a geode, which is the final artifact I need to complete the artifact bundle. Gus is also selling one of the dishes I need, pepper poppers, so I donate that and cross befriending Shane off my list, just after stopping off at Willie's to buy the 4 tackles that I need to complete the fishing tools bundle. The rest of the day goes to copper farming. The 11th is the luau, and I bring my sturgeon and then replace my sturgeon the next day and donate it to the center, finishing one of the 2 random bundles. Evelyn requests a red mushroom on the help wanted board, and bring it to her along with a love gift puts me a heart away from getting her recipe, and then spend the rest of the day continuing to work on the void spirits. I begin the 13th by planting my radish seed, donating a battery pack, and grabbing my copper axe from Clint. Afterwards I do the same as yesterday evening, working on those void spirits, the same going for the 14th where I finally finish the goal. On the 15th my blueberries are finally ready, marking our first major harvest of the season, and my chickens have laid their first eggs, so I can donate one to the community center along with a couple of full forageables I found in my fruit cave. It seems I'm pretty lucky again today, because Evelyn requests another item, and giving to her gives me the last heart I need. Leaving and re-entering her house gives me the cookie recipe. I grab the savage ring in the afternoon and donate the rest of the rings I need to finish the ring bundle, finishing our first room of the community center. I also donate a couple of blackberries from my fruit cave along with them. On the 16th I get to work on building a barn, since I will need cheese for one of the cooked dishes. I then grab an urchin from the beach and use it to finish the purple bundle. I also use my blueberry money to fully complete all vault bundles, finishing the 2nd room of the center. I hop over to Marnie monies to finally buy another chicken, and my dumbass buys another white chicken without noticing somehow. So everybody say hi to Butter. Thankfully, I immediately realized my mistake this time and buy the brown chicken. The next morning, I take the newly accessible bus to the desert and grab a coconut and fish up a sandfish to donate to bundles. I also drop off my axe at Clint's to be upgraded. On the 19th, a lot of things happens all at once. My crops are ready once again. My brown chicken has laid its first egg for me to donate. My steel axe is ready, and Gus is selling one of the recipes I need. Annoyingly, it's the one I bid a whole barn for, but I would rather be safe than sorry anyway. And I still need to get my house upgraded, which I stop off at Robin's to do. In my donation run, I managed to finish 2 bundles, the Maru bundle and the random bundle. With my newly upgraded axe, I open the secret woods and grab a wood skip for another donation. On the 20th, I do a little trout derby fishing, grabbing a pike to donate to the centre and finish the rainfish bundle. Not sure why in any way the fish is there, but I will not complain. On the 21st, my pickaxe that I dropped off a few days ago is ready, and I grab it from Clint and use it to get down some more in the mines. I managed to get down to floor 110, eating the floor 100 star drop along the way. On the 22nd, my house upgrade is finally ready, meaning I can start cooking all the recipes I need. I've saved 2 eggs that I need, and I can buy the majority of ingredients from Pierre's. And then stop off at the ocean to grab a fish and some seaweed for the maki roll. On my way through town, I stop off at Clint's with some geodes, and it turns out he really wanted me to get the final piece of clay I need for the resource bundle. With all those items, I can finish the cook bundle and the resource bundle. In the evening, I cut down a bunch of trees, so finally I have enough wood to make tappers and put them all onto trees in my little oak tree farm. On the 23rd, another harvest of blueberries is upon us, and then in the second half of the day, I get down the final 10 levels in the mines. Overnight, it asked me which level 10 farming profession I want, and stupidly, for some bizarre reason, I pick agriculturalist. This will come back to bite me. On the 24th, I get Robin to begin work on a shed. My goal is to fill an entire big shed with kegs by the end of winter. I spend the rest of the day getting to work on iron farming for the kegs. The 25th and 26th are also lost, so all farming too. On the 27th, my blueberries are ready for a final time. Since I have a bunch of extra cash, I buy a bunch of books from the bookseller and spend the rest of the day in the mines again, this time for coal. 28th is much of the same, with the dance of the moonlight jellies being sprinkled in at the end. Fall is when things start to slow down a little. On day 1, I replace my summer crops with a bunch of pumpkins, somehow buying 100 extra because apparently I don't know how to count. Along with them, I need to plant a sunflower for the Haley bundle, plus my first couple of large eggs are ready, so I can donate one to the egg bundle and one to the L bundle and complete another room of the center. On the 2nd, the special order board is set up, and I start off with Robin's resource rush, so I spend the rest of the day farming up stone and get almost 90% of the way there by the end of the day. On the 3rd, I get Robin to upgrade my shed, and then donate the rest of the full forageables to finish the full foraging bundle, plus I bring her the rest of the stone she asked for. The next day I craft my first few kegs, filling a couple of them with a star fruit and an ancient fruit to brew while my pumpkins are still growing. The 5th and 6th are then lost to mining, and the 7th I fish up a couple of sea cucumbers, and then a couple of super cucumbers to donate. On the 8th, my sunflower is ready to be donated to the community center. Then on the 9th, I work on getting 100 bug meat for another special orders board request. On the 10th, I set up some sprinklers I got from a prize ticket in my greenhouse to use up all of my extra mixed seeds. On the 11th, Gus finally sells that stupid pink cake I've been looking for, meaning I can complete the Haley bundle. On the 12th, my pumpkins are ready to be harvested, and I dump my first batch into all of the cakes I've managed to make so far. I replant another bunch of them on my farm, remembering how to count this time. The next day I give him my hoe to be upgraded. A lot of the rest of the days of fall are going to be lost to gathering materials for the rest of cakes I need, and slowly loading and unloading my pumpkins one by one. The 16th marks the Stardew Valley Fair, and I managed to win first prize with my Grange display, and use the wheel to grab enough star tokens for both the prize ticket and the star drop. On the 17th, I tried to rectify one of my early mistakes, not picking artisan for my level 10 farming profession. To fix this, I need to get to the sewers before the end of the year, so we're going to need farm minerals and artifacts. I try using my copper hoe and spend the day digging up dirts in the mines, because it has a small chance to give you an artifact. I managed to get 2 by the end of the day. The next day I dig up a prehistoric scapula for the museum, and then a couple days later I grab a new mineral from a geode, which officially puts me 10 away from opening up the sewer. On the 21st, I start bombing floors in the mines to try and get some extra geodes. Then I cash them in the next day and get 4 new minerals to donate to the museum. In the afternoon, I continue bombing floors in the mines. Upon waking on the 23rd, my pumpkins are ready, and I replace them with bok choy to take us to the end of the season. During the day, I open some more geodes, netting me 3 more things to donate to the museum. Only 3 remain now. On the 24th, I work on completing the special order board request to kill a prismatic slime, and then when the 25th rolls around, I give the spoils to the wizard, which gives me another prize ticket. This should help in the museum quest because I am only 2 prize tickets away from some artifact troves after this quest. I also managed to get an artifact I need from 1 single geode. On the 26th, my bok choys are ready, making this the last harvest of the game. The 27th is for the Spirits Ease Festival, and the 28th is rearranging my setup for the last time before the last season. Winter is mostly going to be about cleaning up, especially because I could reach my goals at any point in the season. On the first day, my tappers are ready with the final oak resin I need, and it's just a case of chopping down a bunch of trees I need for the last of the wood. And by the end of the day, I've completed my goal of filling an entire shed with kegs. The other half of the day goes to foraging, which means I can finish both the sandy bundle, which also finishes the bulletin board as well. Then I can fill in the winter foraging bundle, which finishes up my penultimate room of the community center. I spend the second doing the ectoplasm special order board request. It doesn't take me long, and bringing the ectoplasm to the wizard means I'm only one prize ticket away from those artifact troves I want. Since I'm only one help wanted request away from another ticket, I spend winter 3 completing the wizard request for me to slay 2 squid kids, meaning I can grab the artifact troves in the hopes that I can get the final 2 artifacts that I need. I open them up at Clint's, and it's my lucky day because I get exactly 2 new artifacts and I bring them back to the museum to donate. On the 4th, I unlock the sewers and pay to change my profession. I also grabbed this star drop from Krobus. I don't need it or anything, but the economy's tough right now and I think he needs it. Overnight I change my profession, and the next morning I grab all of the juice that I've been storing and bring it to Pierre to sell. My total earned gold goes from 400,000 to over 800,000. Not quite there yet, but very, very close. The rest of the day goes to fishing up a perch, putting me 3 items away for finishing the community center. On the 6th I grab another round of juice and sell it. When I wake up on the 7th, I have 940,000 gold earned in total, and due to my mismatched timing on the kegs, another round is ready on that same day, which I can sell too, and it was the perfect amount because it puts me less than 200 gold over my target. Now that one goal is done, the other comes to the forefront. I'm still only 3 items from completing the center, and all 3 of them can be obtained from the night market, so I wait until the 15th and then take the sub underwater. I fish up a midnight squid, a blobfish, and a spookfish. These are the last 3 items, and I donate them on that same day, marking the end of the community center. All in all, pretty fun. Thank you for watching.